Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to clean the battery terminals on your vehicle, because it's so important to keep these things clean, because if there's any kind of corrosion or anything kind of obstructing the signal from the battery itself, you could have issues with your car starting, or you may even have some glitches with the electrical components in your vehicle since the power is coming from here. So it's so important to make sure that you do check those regularly, and if you see any kind of corrosion, that you clean it off. A lot of times people mistaken it that their battery needs to be replaced, when actually that's not the case. It's just that the signal is not coming through clearly because of corrosion. So let's go ahead and get started. As we can see here on this battery, you can see the corrosion all along this negative battery terminal right there. If we look at the positive, let's lift that up. You can see it's starting to come up here as well. That's not good. It's not bad enough to where it's causing issues with the car starting or anything, but if we let it go unattended, then we are going to get to that point. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do what we're going to do next to put an end to this before we wind up in a position with the car not starting or electrical issues. Now for this video, I'm just going to be using this battery cleaner and acid detector spray. Now there's other ways that you can clean batteries as well. There's a battery terminal cleaner as shown here. You can also use a metal brush to, if you take your connections off, you can clean that off, scrub it off real good. But for this video, we're going to be using strictly this battery cleaner spray and showing you how that works and what it does. So the way that this works right here is basically you're going to go ahead and spray it on, and it turns pink on contact with acid. So it'll identify the acid areas on these terminals by turning them pink. We're going to let it sit on here for 2 to 4 minutes to thoroughly neutralize that, and then we're going to come back and just rinse the area clean and flush it with water, and then you're good to go. It's as simple as that. Anybody can do it. Doesn't require any tools or having to disconnect your batteries, because sometimes people don't want to do that because then it resets the clock and all that stuff. So we're not going to get into all that. So this right here, this battery cleaner right here, is by NOCO, and it's called Remove Plus. And just kind of going through right here, it turns pink on contact, as we already talked about. It removes corrosion, neutralizes acids, fast acting, prolongs battery life, and improves starting power, because if your battery terminals are out of whack, you will have starting issues, as we talked about earlier. So let's go ahead and spray it, and then we'll be back in 2 to 4 minutes to see it change colors, and then rinse it off. I'm going to go ahead and open it, and we're going to go ahead and spray it. You can already see it turning pink where the acid was. Spray it liberally all around. Do it on both sides. Look at that. See it turning pink? You can see some of the pink here. There was some on this side too, but as it's foaming up, you can see a little bit still in there. And then on this side here, it's already consumed. But we saw when it first hit, it turned pink. So we're going to go ahead now and let it sit. And we'll be back in about 4 minutes to flush this off and see how it looks. It's been 4 minutes, and you can see it's already starting to kind of fizzle down. So we have just some clean water here. We're going to go ahead and just rinse it off. You can see, and I'll get a close-up, but all the corrosion is gone. Still a little bit here on this one, which I'm going to take a look at. Let's get a close-up. Here's the negative terminal here. That one looks great, all clean. We come here to the positive one, and there's still a little bit of corrosion down in there. We can either give another application of this, or we can get just some, a wire brush and scrape that off, but we probably would have to remove this lead right here to do that. I don't like leaving that little bit of corrosion in there, because what that tells me, since the other one came off nice and clean, there could be some corrosion in between the actual battery terminal and this connection. So we're going to go ahead and remove it, and then I have this wire brush here, and we're just going to scrape that off and clean it. So let's go ahead and get that off. See how it looks. And you can see there is a little bit of corrosion on this terminal. Let me get a close-up of that. Just a little bit of corrosion there. We come around this side, nothing really. Because of that, I'm going to go ahead and remove this one too. Let's just make sure there's nothing under this one. And there's not. This one looks pretty clean. But what I'm going to do is just take steel brush here, and we're going to go ahead and just clean that stuff off right there. That's not good. We don't want to leave anything on there. We want to have a nice clear connection. And we don't want to have anything creeping up underneath the surface where we don't see it. Let's just clean this off. I'm going to clean these off real good, and then we'll be back to take a look at it. And you can see that looks a lot better. Went ahead and cleaned off whatever was left. For the most part, that spray cleaner handled it, but if you see any evidence of anything, it's always good to just pop off the leads there and just double check it. And now we can put everything back. Okay. Make sure these are on good. Okay, well now this is all nice and clean. So that wraps up this video, just a brief video. If you have a battery and you're seeing any kind of corrosion, just some quick tips on how to clean it. I would recommend using the spray cleaner first because that's very hassle-free, easy to do, 2 to 4 minutes done. But as we saw here, if you're still seeing any kind of corrosion that looks like it could be some hidden issues, just take the leads off and double check it. And if need be, break out the wire brush, clean that up. You want all your connections to be nice and clear connections with no obstruction. That wraps up this video, so please send me any questions, any comments. I would love to hear from you. I hope this video helped you out with maybe any projects you're working on or issues you're having with your car battery. As always, I appreciate all the support. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.